Welcome back, everybody. The Hearthstone Legendary Series Open Finals, week number 8. It's the last week and the last opportunity for guys to qualify and go to match day, where they'll play against Tice, Gara, Kit Kats, that's their invest for the weeks, as well as Savitz, Maz, and a couple other guys. It depends on who joins them. So we'll see what's going to happen. Coming up on our next stream, we have a very good match. Who do we have?
It's going to be Santa versus Gooby. And both these guys, Gooby, this is going to be his third week making it through the open bracket. So he's probably won about 20-something matches over the total course of his his 3 open bracket.
One of them he went all the way.
Yep.
He went through the open bracket and then got to the match day, but then didn't end up getting past the first round, losing pretty early on. Pretty tough, pretty tough. Gooby feels like the second coming of a 6-0 in a way, right?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
refuses to die, keeps coming through the qualifiers, trying to do his best to get his name out there, and yet every time he qualifies, it seems like he just falls a little bit short in the early rounds, and that's just unfortunate. And I think we're starting to give props to him in a solid play, and I think he's going to bring something a little bit different too, because he's a guy that was playing Shaman way before all these other guys were playing Shaman too, so maybe he's a guy who's going to bring another weird deck. Maybe we'll see Rogue out of him today, because we haven't seen Rogue. We've seen all 8 other classes. We've seen 2 matches where neither player had a single same class. I wonder what's going to happen this time around.
Well, a little bit of crossover between these guys. There's going to be a Paladin versus Paladin matchup, followed by Druid versus Warlock, and then a Mage versus Mage mirror.
Oh, boy. I have a strong feeling I know what the Mage mirror is going to be.
Yeah, well, I guess we can just hope that it's not Fatigue versus Fatigue.
Yeah.
Both of these players have been high-ranked Legend in, I think, the past 3 seasons. Santa is a guy that you'll see in the top 100 list a lot as well. I was looking it up before, and in October, November, and December, he was on the top 100 list.
Cool.
So,
Wow, really good. Consistent.
Yeah.
Well, the Paladin mirror is going to be very interesting, because there's a lot to say about that mirror specifically, but I'm anxiously waiting match number 3, where I think it's going to be Fatigue Mage Mirror, and let me tell you, that matchup is not that fun to play. It's a lot of silliness. Like, you're going to be flame striking 1 minion on the board sometimes because there's like nothing to do, or
just flame striking nothing.
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, you're milling each other, and then, like, it's all about, like, you want to duplicate your Death Lord so you can fatigue your opponent out faster. Okay, we'll get to that. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. In the meantime, this Paladin mirror is so much about who has the advantage in hero power.
Yeah.
It's about who can get the early game advantage. That's why Mustaford Battle is so strong, because you not only get your 1/1s out faster than your opponent's board, but you have a 1/4 to kill off your opponent's Silverhand recruits. Therefore, the Quartermasters become a lot stronger.
Yeah. And a lot of times, the player that gets the first one out is usually the player that has the advantage.
Unless it's a consecration.
Unless it's a consecration. But if you're in that situation, in an ideal world, the other player would have a consecrate too. So it would just be a moot point. But I think a lot comes down to like early draws. Like, if you can get something on the board early on to control.
The really tough thing about this entire ordeal of a mirror matchup is sometimes they don't even have Quartermaster, and you're just playing around it the entire time.
Yep.
And you're just suboptimally lining everything up: your damage, your removals, your weapons. And the fact that you get a Knife Juggled out early is just so bad for Gooby, because I believe Gooby is the player that went first, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Santa's the second player here.
Yeah, so Gooby running Acolyte of Pain. Oh,
Right.
What are your thoughts on Acolyte of Pain in this? Because it seems like it's just mid-range Paladin.
Right. Acolyte of Pain is great to get draws. I love Acolyte of Pain in control matchups because they usually play slower minions, and then you have... What happens is you play Acolyte of Pain, and they play, like, you know, a Chillwind Yeti or Senjin, and then you just Peacekeeper and you draw like 3 cards, which is pretty nice.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't know. I'd rather have mind control tech sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially in this matchup where Mustaford Battle might end up dictating how things go.
Yeah. I mean, you can say that Acolyte of Pain's pretty good in the mirror matchup as well because you get more value if you're killing tokens, but at the same time, this matchup is also fantastic for the mind control tick, so.
He picks up the owl. Very important to have. Interesting that he includes the owl too. I think Spellbreaker hasn't been used in a long time, so it makes sense you have the owl. Owl will be really powerful against Tyrion if it comes to play. For now, I guess you have to kill off this Acolyte and then just play Muster for battle. You're going to be super weak to a Consecration, but...
You don't think playing mini-bots? Well, I guess if you have two...
I guess you could play mini-bot too if you want to play around Consecration, but it's good for next turn as well.
Yeah.
Because next turn is really awkward.
I think this forces your opponent into an awkward spot, and it can open up opportunities for you maybe to even play around Consecrate a little bit more. Well, not really. I mean, I guess if like a Piloted Shredder comes down here, then you could, it would be a little bit better of a way to play around it, but I guess you're right, it almost would be the same to play the mini-bot on the next turn for Consecrate as well.
It feels similar in the results.
This doesn't fit the curve very well.
Yeah. I like the idea of killing off Knife Juggler now so that he doesn't benefit off of Muster for Battle synergy. It feels the strongest.
Do you Consecrate now, or do you match with your own Muster?
I think you match with your own Muster for Battle because you get to kill off every single token.
Yeah.
You can save Consecration.
Let me think.
Now, what will actually swing the matchup dramatically is what follows afterwards. Harrison Jones. Harrison Jones to get a full hand is actually quite ridiculous.
Do you Harrison Jones though, or
Yeah, come on, dude. It's like a 3 draw.
not worried about Quartermaster though?
Actually, that's a good point. You could be worried. He's coming up on 5 mana. Yeah, if you're worried about it, then you Consecration. And then you draw 2.
3 cards is hard to pass up, but
No, actually, it's a really good point. You can wait for 2 draws off Harrison, and then it's just a curve. But if you want to play around Quartermaster, then you do it. I was saying all these things under the notion that you don't know
yeah.
that Quartermaster's there.
But then again, it's always that.
The caster privilege.
Yeah.
It's really hard to pass up though, because you can still play around it by killing off 2 of these tokens.
That's true.
I find it hard to pass up personally.
Yeah.
It's on curve.
I love that curve.
You get such a strong advantage in the card battle, and you still get to control the board state a little bit. It's like Quartermaster.
A lot of times that card advantage can go a long way in this matchup.
Definitely.
I think
Paladin's
if
not
you're
going to be the one going for the Ancestor's Call
Yeah.
finishes.
I think mirror matchups in general, the player that has the card advantage, when both players are like drawing for the same
Yeah.
answers.
Well, the only exceptions might be the faster matchups like Zoo mirrors
Yeah.
or Hunter mirrors. It doesn't really often come down to card advantage. It comes down to board advantage and who's like the one keeping the tempo up.
And card quality.
Sure. Well, now you're in a pretty awkward spot. I guess the good news is that Harrison has been used. So Muster for battle number 2 is like not going to get stolen the weapon, and you know that you won't have to worry about getting it destroyed.
Yeah.
I think that might be your only play here. It does open yourself up to another Consecration, though.
And it's well, he actually hasn't seen a Consecration yet.
Right.
So
Slow playing this feels like you're asking to get punished pretty hard, though. Because now Gooby can just kill these 1/1s and then drop like a reasonable sized minion like the Sludge Belcher.
very good.
Oh, he's going to
Consecrate, shield, and mini-bot.
Okay. I like keeping the Consecration because he has equality already. So like he's already got a pretty big advantage card-wise. I guess he's thinking that, well, you already used a Muster for battle, so it's unlikely that he could fill up the board again. And if I
Yeah.
Consecrate, I can snowball the board. But I still think dropping like a reasonable sized minion like Sludge Belcher or even Pilot Shredder is okay. And you just like take out these 1/1s and just really milk the fact that your opponent had a passive turn. Your opponent just essentially passed.
And what does that tell you when he leaves Harrison Jones at 2 health?
At 2 health? Or 1 health?
No, like the turn before, he attacked the shielded mini-bot into the Harrison Jones and put it at 2 health.
That he doesn't want to lose it for free to the weapon, I guess. So you want to do 2 damage instead of 1. So I guess from here, Santa's... He doesn't pick up a much better option. Antique Healbot was definitely one of the weakest draws he could ask for.
Yeah.
And to be fair, even if Santa played Muster for Battle, and if this happened the same way it did, he would be caught in an awkward position. This is the power of Harrison Jones. He has gotten so much value. He's drawn cards. He's also a threat to do damage and trade with minions that you put out.
And now it's problematic right now because he can't get to it. It's at 1 health, but he can't do anything to it.
He's got to play Sylvanas here.
Yeah.
And Sylvanas is generally weak against Paladin because of the hero power that naturally builds up, and you increase the chances of it stealing a 1/1.
Yep.
So I'm always hesitant to like play it like the way Santa did, but he's forced to. What else can he do?
Yeah. So you think you flood the board here with 1/1s and take down the Sylvanas? You can muster for battle hero power and then throw the Harrison Jones into the Sylvanas. And then it's only a 1 in 5 chance that that the Sludge Belcher gets stolen. But that's a little bit risky because then you're not playing around Consecrate and it's just being a little bit too hopeful.
Well,
Gooby's facial hairs become more robust every single
oh,
week.
I love it.
Every single week that he competes.
It's great.
It's like the Legendary Series is refining him
When he first came down,
As
he
a
was just
man.
a young lad.
with a deer face. Like he was caught in the headlights.
Innocent. He was pure-hearted.
Yeah.
Now he's been tried and battle-tested. Just
Yeah.
look at him.
His webcam angle was like coming up
He
at
hasn't,
him.
he hasn't showered since the first Open. And he's only like hunted for raw meat in his backyard. He's just grabbed any deer or rabbits he can.
He's not chewing on gum. He's chewing on sinew.
He'll never gain an ounce of fat ever again. He's just fully ripped through and through.
He's become
Processed foods make him sick. He's just become a man of the wild.
the ultimate Gooby.
I'm just like quoting the premise of Arrow. Gosh. Great show. I love Arrow. It's so cheesy, but it's so good.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Gooby in Arrow as the main star to Stephen Amell?
I could, actually.
It's like, Santa, you have failed this Open.
Gooby's sort of been like the, I don't know.
He's a warrior, man. Like, I
The
can't believe he keeps
executioner.
qualifying the way he does. He actually has really hard opponents. If you go back and check Gooby's qualifier run, he beats a lot of tough people.
Yeah, he's the executioner. He just comes in from the open and then takes down a good player
Yeah.
and then loses, but puts up a good fight.
Right, he's up against like Hyped or something. You know,
Yeah.
really tough. Like the Tyrion play on curve, your opponent is very clearly shown he can't keep up with the board. So this is for you to start pushing back. You have ways to secure the win too, because you have double consecration, true silver champion. That's the closest thing that you have to burst, short of Tyrion weapons, right? So from this point on, you make a game-winning push here, and Santa is very far behind, and he can't squeeze in everything. He can't Iron Beak Owl and silence Tyrion. He can't do that while playing Dr. Boom, and it's just like everything feels so weak. Even if you silence Tyrion, it's a 6/6.
Still a 6/6, yeah. And then he doesn't really have any good follow-up plays outside of that. Like, he couldn't play Dr. Boom and silence the Tyrion. I mean, his best bet here might just be to play... Well, I don't know. No, that seems terrible. just play Dr. Boom. But I think he doesn't want to give Ashbringer.
Yeah, or even, you know, if you play Dr. Boom, the Divine Shield is just too valuable. Zombie Chow just to control the board. His hope is that his opponent's at 13 health and he plays careless and he's able to sneak in a win.
Yeah.
Not going to be the case, though, really. You just consecrate shove here. And, like, the Zombie Chow heals him up, too, for an additional 3 health. Consecration followed by Pilot Shredders.
Yeah.
Really, really powerful.
Yeah.
Pilot Shredder, even though you're missing out on a hero power, you get the ability to have a sticky minion.
Just got so much potential to push through.
Yep, absolutely. Here we go, a game push here. In 2 turns, you can kill him. Maybe even next turn. He's got 12, 14, 8, 16 damage next turn. Oh, he's got a heal bot, so heal bot can stall. But if Santa simply drops his Dr. Boom, he is Dr. Dead. And we're
It doesn't even work.
And we're going to Dr. Game 2.
Dr. Nice.
Thanks, Doc.
You can antique heal bot here.
That's the way to survive, actually. To play Antique Healbot and to play
Silver?
Choose Silver. But
Let me
in the grand scheme of things, he's just fallen too far behind.
Yeah.
And I hate to simplify it down to the point where like Harrison Jones came down, but like again, really simply, the fact that he chose the Harrison Jones, draw 3 cards, put a 5/4 on board, and clear off most or half the board.
let
Just like
me
no coming back from that.
I must move quickly.
I mean, there's 13 damage showing on board.
Yep.
So he loses to just a Consecrate. Or True Silver Champion in that situation.
There's a lot of ways to die from hand.
So he needs to heal up.
So how much damage is it now? Oh, Doomsayer play?
Huh.
Wait, so a Stormwind Needle. Your hero powers can
Good
can
talk.
target minions. It's like that already could happen. Paladin hero power always can target minions.
You could lay a dude on
I
his
think
face.
Stormwind Needle needs a buff. So that way when you roll it in Paladin it can do something else. I would love it if right now you could target a Silverhand recruit at a minion and then just it comes flying across the screen and like hits it. It says reporting for duty and just flies in and hits the bot.
If you get that as a Warlock, can you
Oh,
life
that's
tap your
not-
opponent?
Wait, that's crazy.
I don't think that can happen, can it?
Your hero power can now target
No wonder.
minions.
Oh, minions.
Yeah, that's the wording, I think. I don't think that probably shouldn't work.
No, I don't think so. I don't know.
Yeah, there's no way.
It's like the,
I must move quickly.
what was it? The Sabotage? Does it clear
Oh, Tyrion.
Tyrion and the
Yeah,
Ashbringer?
the question is whether or not the sabotage kill Tyrion and then with the combo effect kill the weapon.
Did we
The
still not
answer's-
figure that out?
The answer is no.
Okay.
Ben Bro said it specifically.
Okay.
Quality is not what he needed here.
Well played.
Looks like that's going to be it for game number 1. We're going to go straight into match number 2. If Goopy's going to start off in a pretty strong lead here. Winning the Paladin Mirror was pretty crucial because I think the Mage could go either way, but more specifically... Oh, Jesus. More specifically, I think he's going to have a hard time Druid versus Warlock. So I think he needed to win this match to avoid going down 0-2.
Yeah. GOOBYSENCHOU, the Executioner, never passes up an opportunity for some good quality BM.
He's the survivor, man. He's the island survivor.
The ESL Island.
Yeah.
If
The island of the opened.
if ESL Legendary Series turned into the Hunger Games, Gooby would win.
Probably.